Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We will extend our discussion on hydropower. In last session, we started with the concept that how the water cycle happens. Then we discussed the multi-dimensional advantages of hydropower plants. Then we discussed the classification of hydropower plants based on several criteria. Then we discussed the basic expression for the extraction of hydropower, that is P is equal to rho G Q H. Here rho is the density of the water, G is the gravitational pull, H is the available water head, and Q is the water flow rate. Then we discussed various methods used for the estimation of water flow rate, and this is with regards to the site selection for the hydropower plant. In this session we will discuss the various types of hydroturbines. First type of hydroturbine is the impulse turbine. This is the overall structure of the impulse turbine. This is the wheel of the turbine with radius r, and these circular shape structures are the cups, or you may say the buckets. This is the nozzle. This is the overall head, or the total head available. The pressure exerted is the atmospheric pressure. In this impulse turbine, the potential energy of the water is initially converted into the kinetic energy by discharging water that comes through the nozzle with high speed. This is the nozzle. And with this high speed of water that impinges on the structure of circular shape, as you may call the cups or buckets. And these are attached with the main wheel of the turbine, and this causes the turbine to rotate. These type of turbines are used for the heads where the head is very high head turbines over 300 meters. Now the next category of turbine is the reaction turbine. This is the overall structure of the reaction turbine, and here you can see the turbine is embedded in the water. These are the blades of the turbine, and this is the shaft of the turbine which is connecting the turbine with the generator. Now in this reaction turbine, the turbine is totally embedded in the water. And it appears like a structure of like a fan. As you can see the fan in the water. Now fan is always or the blade of the fan is always touches the water. No kinetic energy is used for this, but pressure of the flowing water used to rotate the turbine. However, by any means, there is some head is required to allow the water to pass through the turbine. And these turbines are used for medium head or low head. Next, we have the bulb or tube turbines. Here you can see this is the blades of the turbine. This is the generator, and this small shaft is connecting the turbine with the generator, and this is overall casing of the turbine. In this case, the overall appearance of the turbine is look like a bulb. So that is why these type of turbines are known as the bulb turbines. Again, these are fully embedded in the water. Now, for the case of tube turbine, you can see this is the blades of the turbine, and this is the shaft which is connecting the turbine with the generator. And because of the presence of this shaft, these type of turbines are known as the tube turbines. These turbines are used where the available head of water is very low. So these turbines are known as the low head turbines, around 2 to 3 meters head. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we will perform some calculations for the impulse turbine. Now, coming back to the main structure of impulse turbine, this is the wheel of the turbine with radius r and circular shaped structures, cups or buckets are connected with the wheel, and let's say the nozzle area at the end, that is represented with Aj, and the velocity of this jet produce is represented with Uj, and as a result of that the velocity of the cup is represented with Uc, and the available head is shown with this Ha, the pressure exerted, that is atmospheric. Initially, the potential energy of water is converted to kinetic energy through the jets. Then jet hits the series of cups, and due to that the tangential force causes the rotation. This applied force caused due to the change in momentum per unit time. On the cup, and we can say this force is equal to tau rho qj uj minus uc, and let's say this is equation 1. Here this rho is the density of water, qj is the water flow rate at jet, and uj is the velocity at jet, and uc is the velocity of cup. Now the power transferred, the power to the cup due to this force, we can write this as P, and this is P J force into UC, or we can write this Pj is equal to 2 rho Qj Uj minus UC, and let's say this is equation number 2. We have just substituted the value of F. The cup velocity due to the maximum flow rate achieved is half of the jet velocity, and that we express with this expression, that UC over UJ is equal to 0.5. Now let's say this is equation 3. Now by substituting value of UC in equation 2, we get Pj is equal to 2 rho Qj Uj minus 0.5 Uj and 0.5 Uj. We further modify the equation and we get that Pj is equal to half rho qj uj square. And let's say this is equation 4. Now let's consider jet velocity and nozzle size. Now ignoring the friction, losses in the pipe, and using Bernoulli's theorem, the jet velocity would be and this pipe is the penstock pipe that is connecting from the reservoir to the turbine jet. Now this is going to be uj square 2g, the available head, or we can rewrite as uj is equal to 2g ha under root. And let's say this is our equation 5. If we have n number of nozzles, then Q, the overall Q, the flow rate of incorporating the all n number of nozzles, that would be n a u g, or you may write n q j. Then the maximum power or you can say the mechanical power with n number of nozzles or you may say the jets is going to be this P, maximum or mechanical power, is neta m and pi. Now this is for one nozzle and you are incorporating with this n, and here this neta is the mechanical efficiency factor. Now with this we can rewrite this Pm is equal to neta m n. Now using the value of this Pi, so then it becomes half rho qj uj square. Further we can modify the equation as half neta m n a uj uj square. Now this is we are getting here. Sorry, I am forgetting the row. Now this is we are getting from here. Now the final equation we are going to get, that is Pm is equal to half neta m rho n a u j cube. Then incorporating the value of this uj that we have already calculated, uj is equal to 2gh a 100. We are getting the expression like this: Pm is equal to half neta m rho n a 2g h a 3/2. Now this is equation 6. Now further, for angular velocity, and the turbine size. Size means the wheel of the turbine. The relationship we are going to develop, since the generator output, as a thumb rule, since the generator output depends on the angular speed so generator angular speed, approximately we guess the generator angular speed approximately is going to be 1500 rpm. So it is important that the turbine wheel should also operate on that speed of 1500 rpm to avoid the incorporation of gears or drive chain. Thus, we can write this power is going to be F or omega, where R is the radius of the wheel, of the turbine, and this is the angular velocity. And we label this equation as equation 7. Also, the curve velocity is r omega. This is the radius of the wheel, so the cup velocity is going to be r omega, and we also know that uc is 0.5 uj. Thus, we can use this here, so 0.5 uj is equal to r omega, or further incorporating the value of uj, that is 2g ha under. So we can write this as 0.52g ha under r omega. Now we can say that R is equal to 0.5 to GHA of over omega, and this is for the case of turbine size, and we label this equation 8. Now, since the nozzles are of circular cross section, then the area of the nozzle would be a pi r square. Now substituting this value substituting this value in equation 6. This is equation 6. So first we write that equation, that is Pm of eta m rho n a 2gh a 3 by 2. Now using this value of a, we modify this equation as Pm is equal to of eta m rho n pi r square 2g ha 3 by 2. Then we calculate for the radius of the cup, that is going to be r square. From that equation Pm over eta m rho n pi gh a 3 by 2 under 2. Now by combining equation 8 and equation 9, we get this is equation 9 and this is the equation 8. Now by combining equation 8 and 9, we get r over r is equal to 0.68 eta m n minus 1 over 2 zeta, whereas this zeta is equal to Pm of omega over rho of gh a 5 over 4. Now this zeta is non-dimensional, shape number. Now these expressions we would be using for solving of any calculations. Any variables or few variables are given and then we can solve this using these expressions. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In this session we will discuss the hydropower potential in Pakistan as well as the installed capacity of hydropower plants in Pakistan. Before that, let us see the world's largest hydropower projects. Three Gorges Dam, that is located in China, and its installed capacity is 20,000 megawatt. Then Itaputu Dam, that is in Brazil, and installed capacity is 14,000 megawatt. Then Gori Dam in Venezuela, installed capacity is 10,200 megawatt. Then Tucori Dam, again in Brazil, the installed capacity is 8,370. Then Grand Coulee Dam, located in United States, and installed capacity is 6,809 megawatt. If we see the history of hydropower in Pakistan, and before that the total generation capacity or the installed capacity in Pakistan, that is 19,547,000 megawatt. In this, the Neelam Jhelum hydro project capacity that is not included. That is having the installed capacity of 1,300 megawatt. If we include that, then and the other thermal units, we can say the installed capacity of Pakistan is 21,000 megawatt. At the time of independence in 1947, it inherited only 60 megawatt generation capacity of electricity. Then in 1970, the capacity was enhanced to 636 megawatt, and it grew further till 1971, 1331 megawatt. Then in year 1980, it touches the generation capacity of 3000 megawatt, and thereafter during the period of 1990 to 1991, it touches the 7000 megawatt capacity. At the moment we are having around 21,000 megawatt capacity. If we talk exclusively the hydro power plants, that is the potential in Pakistan, we are having 54,500 megawatt, whereas the installed capacity or generation capacity is 6,618 megawatt. And if we include the Neelam Jhelum hydro project's capacity, that is 1,300, so total will come 7,918 megawatt. So through large hydro dams or hydropower projects, we are having the installed capacity that is 5,928. Through medium head projects, we are having the capacity of 437 megawatt, and through small to micro hydro projects, we have the generation capacity of 253 megawatt, and total including the Neelam Jhelum hydro capacity, we are having 7,918 megawatt. If we see the detail of hydro potential in Pakistan, the Indus River has the capacity or the potential that is 35,760 megawatt, and its tributary have the generation capacity that is potential that is 5,558. So total potential through Indus River we can say the 41,318 megawatt. Jhelum may have the potential to generate 3,143 megawatt hydroelectricity. Kohan River, that is 1,250 megawatt. Neelam River and its tributaries 2,459 megawatt. Poonch River has the capacity potential that is 397 megawatt. So total comes out to be 7,249 megawatt. Then including the Swat and Chitral River both, we have the hydropower potential of 4,670 megawatt, and total overall potential hydropower potential that exists in Pakistan, that is 54,527 megawatt. If we go into the detail of installed capacity of hydropower plants in Pakistan, Tarbela, that is the installed capacity of 3,478 megawatt, Ghazi Barotha 1,450 megawatt, Mangla 1000 megawatt, Varsak 240 megawatt, Chashma 184, and you can see the Rasool, Malakand, Dargai, and overall we have the capacity or the installed capacity of 6464, and if we include the Neelam Jhelum hydro project's capacity, then it is going to be 7918 megawatt. Now if we see the generation capacity of large dams, Tarbela Dam has the capacity of 3470 megawatt. In that 10 turbines of 175 megawatt each are installed, and beside that 4 turbines of 432 megawatt. Then if we see the Mangla Dam, it has the capacity of 1000 megawatt where 10 turbines of 100 megawatt are installed. So just to remind you that this is the installed capacity, it does not indicate that the dam or the hydropower plant that is producing this much of generation. This is the installed capacity. Maybe one turbine, if one turbine is not functioning at, let's say, at Mangla Dam, so the generation that would be at very that time 900 megawatt. So this is the installed capacity. Then the Ghazi Brotha through run of the river we have discussed in detail. Here we just divert the water flow and we generate electricity. Here we have the 5 turbines of 290 megawatt each. So total installed capacity is 1450 megawatt. Damir Basha Dam. Here 12 turbines of 375 megawatt. So total generation capacity is 4500 megawatt. Now if we discuss the Neelam Jhelum hydroelectric project, this is entirely a different way to generate electricity. Here we don't go for the actual building of large dam or construction of large dam. This is the only diversion. The water that is coming through Neelam river, that is diverted through tunnels, and again it is connected with the Jhelum river. So here the 10 turbines of 100 megawatt installed, so 1000 megawatt that is generated here, and again 3 turbines of 100 megawatt, so total generation capacity is 1300 megawatt. Here we are having two tunnels, twin tunnels, and the length of these tunnels are 19.6 kilometers, and entirely these are underground tunnels. And here we have single tunnel and the length of this is 8.94 kilometers, and the diameter of the tunnels approximately that is 8.3 meters. Here with this I end my discussion. Allah Hafiz.